الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه أما بعد. My brothers and sisters, indeed I enjoin upon you and upon myself the fear of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala for writing us among those to commence the Ramadan, observe the Ramadan, and also end the Ramadan. So today, one question we need to ask ourselves is, then what's next after Ramadan? Ma ba'da Ramadan? What follows? Because within the month of Ramadan, a lot of us were engaged in various acts of ibadah, that is, in various acts of worship, taking care of our salah, our taraweeh, our tahajjud, recitation of the Quran, and also we kind of improved in terms of our behavior, whereby we learn patience. In that period, some of us, if someone looks for your trouble, you tell the person, I'm fasting, and you're not ready for trouble. So we did a lot of things that uplifted us, both spiritually and morally, for the sake of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So what follows after Ramadan? Is that the end? Do those things end with the ending of Ramadan? And as we said, Ramadan is gone, but the Lord of Ramadan is still there. That is Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. And the question we also need to ask ourselves, what's the benefit of the Ramadan? Why did we observe the Ramadan? And that will also help us to know what comes after Ramadan. Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, in a verse in Surah Al-Baqarah, made us to know the essence or the importance of Ramadan. That is what? لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. He said to us, كُتِبَ عَلَيْكُمُ الصِّيَامُ كَمَا كُتِبَ عَلَى الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِكُمْ لَعَلَّكُمْ تَتَّقُونَ. He said, fasting is being made obligatory upon you, the way it is being made obligatory upon the generations before you, so that you may attain what? Attain piety. You may attain righteousness. That is, you may, become, better people in terms of, your spiritual life and your moral life. Because your spiritual life and moral life have connection. That is, your deen and your character have connection. In the case of Islam, they are not disconnected. There is serious connection between your character and your level of spirituality. The more highly spiritual, that is, the more highly pious you are, then the more decent you will be morally. That's why the most God-conscious amongst us is the Messenger, sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. قال إن أعلمكم بالله وَأَتْقَاكُمْ أَنَا. He said, I know Allah better than you. Definitely, which is true, because He is the one Allah sent to us. So He is the one Allah is making revelation to, and He is giving us what? The information. So definitely He will have better understanding or better knowledge of Allah better than any of us. So He knows Him better and He fears Him more. And as He fears Allah most, that made Him to have the best of all character. As mentioned by Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala in a verse of the Quran, that وَإِنَّكَ لَعَلَى خُلُقٍ عَظِيمٍ. You stand on the best and most noble character. So, Ramadan come to make you more conscious of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, more upright in terms of your character. And as scholars keep reminding us from time to time, when you observe Ramadan, if you want to know, part of the things you will use to assess or to know whether Allah have accepted your Ramadan or not is this. check your life before Ramadan. You check your life within Ramadan and your life after Ramadan. If character-wise, religious-wise, or spiritual-wise, if you like, if before Ramadan, let me just use a rough estimate, if before Ramadan, if your level of uprightness is 40%, and you move into Ramadan, definitely you will go above that. Because you see people who don't observe any salah, you will see them observing the 5 daily salah and adding tarawih. Fasting, somebody who does not fast nafila, in Ramadan he is fasting for what? 30 days. So many things. Recitation of the Quran, attending, lectures and tafsir and so on. So you improve spiritually and morally during Ramadan. That means, let's say, most likely, you move from 40% to what? To, let's say, 60% or 70% or 80% or 90%. It doesn't matter your level of righteousness. The moment Ramadan comes, you go up. You go above that. So now, if you want to know, if you want to, to be able to say whether your Ramadan is accepted or not, now immediately after Ramadan, begin to check your life. Have you jacked up from where you were before Ramadan, or after Ramadan you fall back or below? So if you fall back to 40 after Ramadan, that means your Ramadan have not been accepted. Even if you fall back to the normal, the same gauge. Why? Because as we say, if we haven't forgotten, we said Ramadan is what? Madrasatul Taqwa. Madrasatul Taqwa wa Darul Huda. It is what? It is a school of piety. It is a program you went through to what? To become something. To uplift yourself spiritually and morally. So after this whole program, you finish the program and then you are still where you were before the commencement of the program. So what did you achieve from the program? It's just like you sending someone to a medical school. At the end of the medical training, and he cannot say anything pertaining to the field, what's the use? That means he's even worse than the person who did not go to that school. Because resources is wasted on him without what? A result. Organizations send their staff on training to what? To improve in their what? In their level of productivity. So if resources is wasted on training staff and they are not yielding anything positive, then what is the use of the expenses? So same thing, equivalent to your Ramadan. Your Ramadan is a training for you to become a better version of yourself after Ramadan. In Ramadan, you learn patience, you learn consciousness of Allah wa ta'ala. And I've mentioned before, if as a people, and let's talk to ourselves as Muslims, if our own population, after these 30 days, things did not change in the country, then none of us has moral right to blame the government for not doing anything. And I usually say I'm not exonerating the government for not discharging their own responsibility. Yes, Allah will ask them for not discharging their responsibility. You too, Allah will ask you for not discharging your own responsibility. And why did I say as Muslims, if things did not change in our communities, in our environments, or where we find ourselves after Ramadan, things did not change. It's because as a Muslim, the person you expect to change for his reason more is Allah, not any human being. The person you want to please more in your life is Allah. Because you feel your life revolves around Allah, not around anybody. My life and yours doesn't belong to anyone. My life doesn't belong to myself. It does not belong to my wife. My life did not belong to my children. It did not belong to my father. My life did not belong to anybody. And my life does not revolve around anybody. Because no one can give me what Allah have not written for me. And no one can deprive me what Allah have written for me. Same thing applicable to you. Your children can make you anything. Your wife can make you anything. Your husband can make you anything. Your father can make you anything except what Allah have destined you will have. They can only make what Allah have written for you materialize. And that's why any effort to stop you from what Allah have written for you, that move is only to make what Allah have written for you to materialize. Like the case of Prophet Yusuf, alayhi salatu wasalam. The effort of his brothers to stop him from progressing was actually moved to make him get what Allah have written for him. So my brothers and sisters, indeed, like I said, if you as a Muslim, you are waiting for government to stop you from kidnapping, you are waiting for government to stop you from taking life, you are waiting for government or any human being to stop you from oppressing those who are weak. If you are waiting for anybody to stop you from cheating in the market as a businessman, and you are waiting for anybody to stop you from bribery as an officer or as whatever, as anything, if you are waiting for that, then you will continue to wait till eternity. Yes, it will never end. Because any society that you think Allah cannot change, then nobody can change them. So like I said, it is a shame for we as Muslims in our community, kidnapping becomes the order of the day. It shows how far we are from Islam. How far. Even if government permits you to kidnap, you will not obey because Allah has prohibited you from doing that. If government legalizes killing, you as a Muslim, you will not obey because you have your choice. Yes, you can refuse to kill because Allah has said what? Whoever take a life is like he has taken what? The life of the entire world. Yes, you as a Muslim, your community allows interest. But you as a Muslim, you will avoid interest because Allah have said it is what? Haram. So as a Muslim, your own obedience, total obedience, unconditional one, is to only one person, and that is who? Allah. But any other person, your obedience is conditional. Any other person, your obedience to that person is what? Is conditional. You will only obey somebody if he is commanding you with what is not against the commandment of Allah. And that's why I say as Muslims alone, we can change so many things in this country without even government doing anything. And why did I say even we can change things? Because among those in power, some are Muslims. So if they are actually going to maintain their deen, and the fasting is going to impact in their life, even the way they run their affairs there will be different. Because as a Muslim, whether in the market, even in the toilet, anywhere, you believe Allah is writing down your action. Even in the toilet. Islam did not tell you that there's a particular period that Allah doesn't hold you accountable. Every second of yours is what? Is documented. That's your belief. That's your faith. And that is why as a Muslim, even if it is a non-Muslim, like I said, a Muslim, even if he's dealing with a non-Muslim, he will make sure he never oppress that non-Muslim. Not because he's afraid of that non-Muslim, because he's afraid of what? Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. So my brothers and sisters, indeed, we need to check ourselves. You know, because Rasulullah was asked one day in a hadith transmitted by Imam al-Bukhari, he was Su'ila Rasulullah sallallahu ayyul a'mali ahabbu ila Allah. He was asked, what is the most desirable deed to Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala? What was his response? He said, adwamuha. The one that's what? That is consistent. The one that is what? Lasting. Wa in qalla, even if it is small. So Ramadan have gone. Let's maintain our salah. Let's maintain the patience. Like I do say, if you are driving your car, don't think you are just honey. Yes, I know why I usually use those minor things, because some of us look at those things as what? Minor. If you horn, you must understand that that horn is going to cost you something with your maker. That is Allah. If you horn, if there is justification for that horn, you will have reward. If there is no justification, you will have sin. Don't think you are just driving. Because when you are horning, you are communicating. When you are horning, you are talking to people. So you are either scaring them, or inconveniencing them, or what? Saving them. So if you do your horn to help them, Allah gives you reward. You eat your gala, buy your gala, eat your gala. Yes, if you want to give out one, give out the gala and keep the wrap in your car. When you get to a good place, get the dustbin and throw it inside. Yes, instead of eating the what? The gala and throwing what? The paper outside. For the person sweeping, because we feel some people are employed to what? To sweep the road. Do the one that will give you reward. Share the gala. Don't throw the paper on the road. My brothers and sisters, indeed, let's try to maintain the lessons of Ramadan, and in essence, making ourselves better people, the way, from the way we were before the commencement of Ramadan. أقول ما تسمعون وأستغفر الله العظيم الجليل لي ولكم ولسائر المسلمين من كل ذنب وخطيئة فاستغفروه إنه غفور رحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه. أما بعد عباد الله أوصيكم ونفسي بتقوى الله عز وجل. My brothers and sisters, indeed. So like I said, as Muslims, we're supposed to be the pace setters. But like I do remind us from time to time, Islam is not by name. It's not your name that makes you a Muslim. It's not your proclamation that you're claiming to be a Muslim that makes you a Muslim. What makes you a Muslim is believing in Allah and living according to the dictates of Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala. Like I do say, if your name is John, or your name is Bola, or your name is Okechuku, or your name is Adejo, or your name is anything, think of any name. If your name is that, and you accept Islam, and you decide to say, I'm retaining my name, retain your name and behave like Muhammad, that's what will land you in Jannah. If you change your name from John to Muhammad, and you are not behaving like a Muhammad, that is Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, then you won't enter Jannah. Because it is not the name that will put you in the Jannah. Allah did not say He will put you in Jannah by your name. Allah said, وَلَا تَزِرُ وَازِرَةٌ وِزْرَ أُخْرَى وَأَنْ لَيْسَ لِلْإِنسَانِ إِلَّا مَا سَعَى. Nothing is for man except what he does. It is your work that puts you in Jannah. Your faith and what? Your deed. وَأَنَّ سَعْيَهُ سَوْفَ يُرَى. And I do give us example. Sayyidina Umar was Umar as an idol worshipper and Umar as a Muslim. Hamza was Hamza as an idol worshipper and Hamza as what? As a Muslim. Khadija was Khadija before she hears about Islam and Khadija after Islam. Most of the Sahabas have their name before Islam, and they did not change their name before Islam because they know it is not the name that grants them Jannah, that gives them Jannah, but what? Their deed. But in our own case today is reversed. We change the name and we what? We maintain the bad life. Like I said, today you see a Muslim behaving just like any other person. Killing is easy now, right? Kidnapping, robbery, drugs, and so on. So where are we? Which kind of Islam are we practicing? No peace in our environment. Why? Because we are not following the tenets of Islam. Anywhere you take Allah out of, there will be no peace there. So virtually all of us, both the Muslims and non-Muslims, are behaving the same. All of us. That is, we are all behaving in a human way. Human thinking is different. That has nothing to do with whether you are a Muslim or what? Non-Muslim. Is if you see whether a Muslim who is not practicing, both Muslim who is not practicing and non-Muslim, they look at cheating as what? Smartness. Right? Because when somebody cheats somebody, he thinks he's what? He's smart. And when they cheat him, he will be what? He will not be happy. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala guide us all, alright? And as Muslims, may Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala make us practicing Muslims, not Muslims by name, but Muslims by lifestyle. Our leaders, may Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala, their shortcomings, may Allah forgive them and guide them onto the path. Yes, another thing is I usually say to brothers and sisters, we don't need to curse our leaders. We need to pray for them, for Allah to guide them. When you curse them, if you have justification, you want Allah to answer your prayer, right? It's when you curse them, Allah will what? Will answer your prayer, isn't it? And they will do more damage. And who suffers the damage is still you. Yes. That means sometimes their behavior comes from your own prayer too. It's just like when you have your child, no matter what your child does, pray for Allah to guide your child. Don't curse your child. Because after he finishes the problem, he's still going to come to your house. Don't curse your child. Don't curse your wife. Your leaders, pray for Allah to guide them. Everybody have his shortcomings. You have your own. I have mine. No, there is no single perfect human being on the surface of the earth. None. So like I said, wrong is wrong. We are not justifying it. But yes, you too as a Muslim, behave like a Muslim. Pray for Allah to guide them. Pray for Allah to guide them onto the right path. If they are not guided, leave Allah to solve this problem with them. He knows how to handle them. But you pray for Allah to, so long as they are holding that power, they are deciding your faith to some extent, right? So if you pray for Allah to guide them, the more guided they are, the more peaceful you will be. And the more unguided they are, the more what suffering they will inflict on you. So that is why when you pray evil for them, you are also not helping yourself. The Prophet did not pray, did not encourage praying evil for people. Fir'aun, Allah knows how rotten he is. He was challenging Allah straight because he told his people, Ana Rabbukumul A'la. But when Allah sent Prophet Musa and Harun to him, he said to them, فَقُولَا لَهُ قَوْلًا لَيِّنًا. Both of you should speak to him in a mild way. He is challenging Allah. He told them, Ana Rabbukumul A'la. I am your Lord, the Most High. That's what he told his people. But Allah still told them to what? To talk to them mildly. So all of us need to work on ourselves. Both the leaders and the led. The younger ones and the older ones. We, the younger ones, really don't know how to talk to our elders. No respect. Yes, you abuse your elders and you think that is what? Bravery. Or what do you call it? Civilization. Yes, even if your father, no matter how rotten your father is, Allah asks you to respect your father. Your father, no matter how rotten he is your father, you can't change him. Allah who picked him for you as a father knows why he picked him for you. He's not by mistake. You know your father is destiny. You didn't pick your father by yourself. You only woke up and saw somebody as your father. Right? Yeah. So Allah who picked him for you know why he picked him for you. So you relate with that your father according to the dictate of Allah, not according to what will please you. May Allah Tabaraka wa Ta'ala guide us all, alright? Make inshallah our nation one of the best of nations. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار اللهم أسلمتنا ولا تأمرنا وجعلنا من خافك واتقاك يا رب العالمين. بعد اللهم لا سلام.